we're going to start our design and modeling portion here on 3.2.2. I think it's an easiest spot for us to start with because these assembly drawings require that we have the part models. And we're going to start with what we call base design files. They're simple files that can be changed later on for the specifics of what we're going to do, and it's called parametrics. And it's easiest to see this by example. So I'm going to do some purchase part fittings and bushings for you, and then I'm going to show you how you can make the specific entities from a parametric table to make all the different part model instances. There's a 3-step process, and I'll go through all 3 steps for a couple of simple parts for you to start with. So my first part is going to be a pipe thread, a pipe, a nipple. And so I know that a nipple has some diameter, and I don't even really care what that diameter is. I'm going to call it a diameter 1. And I'm in inches. I don't care what that diameter is right now. And I've got another diameter, which is the inside. And actually, I'll work with inside, and I'll call it point 8. So I've got an outside diameter and an inside diameter. And when I put a dimension on it, that means I can change it later on. All right, so I'll show you what I mean. When I click on this 1, double click, it tells me it's dimension D0 and it's 1 inch. But if I wanted to change that really quickly to 2, it would change it back to 1. So by clicking on that, I can change it at will, and by clicking on that, I can change it at will. So that's one of the nice things. And I just have to know that D0, I don't know what D0 means. It's just a number it gave it. But I could later on call that OD, and I could call the other one ID, and I could change those in a table if I wanted to. So there we go. I've got my OD and my ID. And the next thing that I need, of course, is a length. I'm going to put that in. I'm just going to make the length 1 again. It sounds like an easy thing to do. Now, here's where I get to choose which way do I want to go, or even. Okay. And I think that when I put this into a file, I want it at one end rather than in the middle. So I'll go with that. And I'm actually going to change it to 1.5 just for fun. Okay. So there we go. So I've got it. And what's really cool, I'm going to try to find it up here. Usually it's up here somewhere. Tools and annotate, inspect, where's my parameters? Anybody know where my parameters? There they are. There's my parameters. Usually those are up here somewhere. Oh, there they are. I have to turn them on. So if I go to this tiny little button way at the end, I can turn my parameters on. And if I click on my parameters, a table comes up. And I know that D0 was what? My outside diameter. And just see me typing in the words up here just so that somebody else can figure it out. And D1 is my inside diameter. And I'm not doing a very good job of typing, but you'll get it. D2 is my pipe length. And this is a pipe taper. How much does it taper? Pipe taper. And it doesn't taper at all because I've got a straight piece of pipe. And now if I want to, I can actually change it from my table. So that's why we call it parametric. These are called parameters. This is either an equation or a value. Now, look, I could say that I always want my inside diameter to be 0.9 times D0. And it will if I change this, it will automatically make my pipe wall thickness an equation. That is so cool. But I'm going to keep it fixed right now because I know that when I look up a piece of pipe in a table, it gives me the outside diameter and it gives me the inside diameter. And if I'm purchasing a certain length, it gives me that. So there we go. So now I want to I'm going to make this, save this as, file, save as, and this is going to be my pipe. Oop, I got to put it in the right folder. Don't worry about all this kind of stuff. You'll figure it out. Pipe. Standard. And it's my base design. So I'm going to call it standard base design. And so now if I ever want a different piece of pipe with different dimensions, I can open this, type in my information, and resave it as something new. So let me do that. Now I'm gonna try to find a specific piece of pipe. So I'm going to it's a little smaller for a moment. Where's my pipe chart? Pipe dimension chart. Go. And there it is. I'm going to do, let me do 22 more rows. There we go. I'll do my 1/2 inch pipe, and it's 0.84 OD. And does it give me the ID? This one doesn't give it to me by ID. This one does give me the wall thickness, but that's okay. I can say that it's the OD minus some amount, but that's wall thickness, 2 times that amount. Okay, but I'm going to leave it as it is, and I'll just do a quick calculation. 0.84 minus 0.083 minus 0.083 gives me an inside diameter of 0.674. So now let me go make that. I'm going to make it. So I'm going to go File, Save As, Pipe, I think I have to write 1.5. I don't think I can use a slash. 1.5 inch. 0.063 wall by, I'll make it 3 long. So now I've got a description of this part, and I can save it, and very quickly, what did I say it was? 0.674. And what was the outside dimension diameter? 0.840. And how long did I want it to be? 3 long. So now I've got that one. That's called an instance. Called an instance. So I'll just save that really quickly. And this is what we call your parameter table. So this is what I would copy into my parameter table. And oh, look, I can just export it. So you're going to export this table to what's called an XML file, and you'll open it up. And I'll show you how to do that in another one. Okay, well, let me just show it to you now. I'll put it as an XML file. And I should go back and do my standard one, but it won't matter. I'll just say this is my pipe. There it goes. And now I've got it as an XML file that I can open up in Excel. So I've just done 3 parts. I've done a base design for a nipple. And that base design can create all the nipples that I want. 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch, 1 inch by any. Actually, I've made pipe. I've made pipe. I haven't made the nipple yet. Okay. So now that's my pipe. Now I'm going to resave this file. Save as. And this one's going to be nipple. Because a nipple is a piece of pipe with a thread on each end. So I can do this 2 different ways. One, I can just put a thread on this end, and I can call it an NPT, and I can call it whatever one I want, 1 inch, 1/2 inch. And I can do the same thing over on this end. NPT, 1/2 inch. And now I have a pipe nipple, and let's see what my parameters look like. There it is. This is all of my thread data. This is my thread data. And I could even write here 1/2 NPT. And there we go, I've got it. Now, if I want to, and that's fine for all of our assemblies and everything. If I want to put an angle on this, I can't. Oh, I'd better save this as my base model. Right, got to save it. And of course, now by changing my parameters, I can change this to any other one that I want. And I can make all my instances by changing this to be what a 1 inch pipe outside and inside diameter would be, the length, and then I could change these NPT threads very quickly by just changing them over here or changing this right here. So that's how I make. So now I've got a pipe, I've got a nipple, and from this I can make any number of them very, very quickly by typing in the numbers that I want. And this becomes, again, my parameter table. Okay, and all I have to do is look up the proper numbers and put them into that table, and I've got it. That's a really cool thing, and you can do this in, actually you can do it in AutoCAD, but it's a little bit hard. You can do it in Inventor, and you can do it in Fusion. A little bit easier in Inventor because you can actually import. So you can just do that in like an Excel file and import it, and it will redraw it for you. Okay, so there you go. That is your basic lesson in base design files. It's an introduction to parametric tables, and it's an introduction to part model instances. Here we go. But I just did pipe, nipples, and you can imagine how to do the others. I'll demonstrate those at some point, but this is your basic instructional video.